Hello, welcome. In today's session, we are going to see how can we connect to Google Cloud SQL instance. There are various ways we can connect to the Google Cloud SQL instance. Before that, Google Cloud supports different database servers to install inside a GCP application like MySQL server, PostgreSQL, and SQL server as on today. So when it comes to the connectivity established with the Cloud SQL using different approaches, we will configure the public IP. Sometimes we can call it as an external IP. So when we configure with the public IP to the Cloud SQL, how can we connect? This is one of the way we can connect, and from anywhere in the world we can access the data. This is not much secure. The second approach is private IP or internal IP. So using this private IP, when we try to configure Google Cloud SQL using a private IP, it means like it is very much secure, and within the Google resources like virtual machine or GKE, we can connect to the Google Cloud SQL instance and we can access the data, but we cannot connect from the outside applications like local our desktop or external applications when we use a private IP. It is much more secure. It will establish one peer connection within the Google network. That is how private IP is very much secure. We cannot access if we define this private IP to that Google Cloud SQL instance. The third approach is Cloud SQL proxy. This is a gateway which established between client machine and the Google Cloud SQL. This was provided by Google, and we need to install this Cloud SQL proxy in our local machine. From there, we can connect to Google Cloud SQL instance. Coming to the next approach, it is a database user. As everyone knows, we can create users inside a database. So these are the built-in database users, and this is the one more approach we can call it as to connect to the database. The final approach is SSL connectivity with IAM user. So this is more secure, and whatever the operations which we want to perform from the external systems to access the Google Cloud SQL. So this is a more secure way. We can create a service account, and we are going to create an IAM user, and this is like a programmatic approach. We can connect to the Google Cloud SQL instance, and we can access the data. We can perform the various transformations required. So these are the various ways we can access the data from the Google Cloud SQL instance. Let's move on to the practical approach. So this is we are going to create a Cloud MYSQL instance with public IP as part of this session. We can first create a Cloud SQL instance in a GCP application. Later on, we are going to connect using the Cloud Shell and from our local laptop also. However, we don't. In the third step, we can create a sample database and table. Finally, this Cloud MySQL database we can connect using a GCP virtual machine. So let's jump into the practical without wasting further time. On the left side, we can see multiple options, resources, compute engine, SQL server. This is a Cloud SQL instance. So when we click on SQL, this is the Cloud SQL offers. It is a fully managed database service which supports MySQL, PostgreSQL, and SQL server. Here you can see the different versions which supports. We can click here to connect, create or configure a database. So we can create a MySQL server or PostgreSQL server or SQL server. So as part of this demo, we are going to choose MySQL server. Recently, they introduced AlloyDB for PostgreSQL. This we can call it as an extension for PostgreSQL. So this supports AML forward management also. So whenever we want high-end machines with a full-fledged PostgreSQL concepts, so at that time we can go with the AliDB. This is the newly introduced feature. So as part of this session, we will choose the MySQL SQL Server. So from here, we can go with the enterprise version. And for the simple configuration, I will be going with the sandbox. We have a different database versions. We can select MySQL 8.0. And here we can try to use demo MySQL. The password we can generate whichever password, complex password as required, we can generate. Otherwise, we can go with our custom password. I will be using simple password, welcome 122. If you scroll down, this is the region and journal availability. Under this section, we can select our nearest location. In the right side, you can see the caste, how much is the caste which we can select. So if we want to see like what is the caste for development, we can see the caste for development is $0.30. So for our practice purpose, we can go with the sandbox. So we are going to select the US Central one region and single zone or multiple zones. So if we want to select multiple zones, the cost will be a little bit high, like it's a double. We can specify a zone, any zone, primary zone and secondary zone we can select. But for our, I'm going to select the option of a single zone. This is fine for me. We can click on show configuration. These are the various sections which you can see machine configuration. So under this machine configuration, we can go with the shared core or dedicated core. If you want to use a shared core, we can go with the dedicated core. Anything is fine. So as part of it, we can go with the dedicated core and we can choose the configuration. If we want to increase the custom configuration, we can provide till 96 vCPUs. Beyond that, we cannot provide. It will not accept. If we provide 97, it will not accept. So 96 vCPUs and RAM will support till 250 624. So it will accept until 624. It will not accept beyond that GB. So for us, we are going to with the lower end machine, that is 1 vCPU and 3.75 gig memory. Coming to the next section, storage. So SSD is majorly used for fast processing and lower latency. It is more costlier than the HDD, and it will perform like in a flash, like it supports like lower latency when compared to HDD. When we select HDD, the cost will be very less compared to SSD. We'll go with the HDD and we can select the storage capacity as 10 GB. We can customize this also till 64 terabytes. So whenever we want to configure Cloud SQL, it supports maximum 64 terabytes. Beyond this, if you want to store our data, and what we can do is we need to create one more instance, MySQL instance, or we can go with other resources like a Cloud Spanner or other database resources already. I'm going to select 10 GB and we can go with the advanced. So these are the Google Managed Encryption Key and the KMS. So we can go with the Google Managed Encryption Key. This is a connections part. So here our focus is we are going to select the public IP, private IP, we can see it later. So whenever we select a public IP and we don't require to add any network right now. And coming to the data protection. Data protection, it is automated daily backups. It will be taken a number of days and window time, maintenance window time. If you want to specify, we can specify the backup time. so that that particular window automatically Google will manage to take a backup automatically. So this is every 7 number of days it will take a backup. When we see the point in recovery time, it will be logs will be saved, and at any point of time, Google will be taking a backup, and which it is a kind of a very high availability of a data point in recovery. At any point of time, if we want to get back our data, we can use this point in recovery time. We are keeping all the other options as a default. This is a maintenance window. If your business hours is more, and if you want maintenance to be done for the particular week or specific day, you can mention for this cloud instance. Coming to the flag, this is a database flag. Right now we are not looking it. And coming to the labels, we can add one label. Anything is fine. Like we can set environment, and we can keep as the click on the. Finally, we are going to create, and this costs around 0.07 hourly cost. Let's create MySQL instance. It will take some time to create a database MySQL instance. Yeah, start. Cloud SQL instance got created. Let me open this. We can see the different sections, how is it behaving. So we can see the chart like the CPU utilization, memory components, and active connections. So there were no active connections currently, and also like if you see the CPU utilization for this MySQL, these are the earlier utilization how I was created, and this is not related to this particular instance. And similarly, we can see the total message usage, other options, and coming back to here, we can see the public IP. This is a public IP which got created. We don't have a private IP; it's disabled now. The enabled is the public IP. So for when we copy the public IP to the Cloud SQL instance, how are we going to connect from the Cloud SQL? So first, what we can do is we can activate the Cloud SQL by clicking this icon. We can open this editor in new window. So let's open in a separate tab. This is the terminal, open terminal. Now currently we are in this Cloud Shell. So in the Cloud Shell, we can see what is the account activated. Gcloud auth list. Okay, we need to reconnect. So this is the account which currently is active for this particular account. Now we'll try to see the version of this MySQL. So currently it was installed with the version MySQL instance and this Cloud SQL. So enter the password. Key is the password, and you can enter the root password while creating your MySQL instance. So it was taking some time because it will not connect to the Cloud SQL instance because we haven't established any IP address whitelisting. So let's stop it. Let's go back to this Cloud SQL instance. We will try to open this instance. From here in left side, we can see different options, connections, users, databases. Under the connections, we'll go to the networking. Here, what we need to add is we need to add the IP address where we were going to connect. So we need to see this particular Cloud SQL IP address. So to see that particular Cloud SQL IP address, we have to go and we need to use the curl command to connect. So we can use the curl command to connect it. Using this, we can get this particular server IP address. So this is the IP which we can copy, and we can go back to the Cloud SQL network. So here we can use Cloud Shell, and here we need to pass that network IP address from where we want to connect to this Cloud SQL instance. We can click on done. Otherwise, this CIDR notation. So we can use a CIDR notation also using the 0/24. It means like it's nearly like a 2 power 8, 2 power 20, 256 IP addresses it will accept from 0 to 255. Click on done and save the changes. So the changes has been edited and the success. Now we'll go back to the Cloud SQL instance. We will use the same MySQL the same IP address which we want to connect it to the Cloud SQL instance. This is a public IP. Let's enter the root password. Bang. Now it's successfully connected with the MySQL server. We can show the databases in the MySQL instance. These are the databases, system databases, the default databases, which we can see. Go back to here and we can see here. These are the default system databases. If we want to create a database, we can create from here. Otherwise, we can go back to our Cloud SQL. We already connected to MySQL. So from here also, we can try to create a database. As part of it, we can create a sample database like sales DB. Database got created. We will use sales DB, and we will try to create one table inside this sales DB. This is the table which we can create. Let's dismiss. This is the command to create a table inside sales DB database. The table got created. We are going to insert command, insert some sample records, dummy records into here. Right. Use a select star from the table. Table is orders table. Right. So now we can able to create a database and we can able to create a table and insert the records. This is how we can configure and connect to the public IP of Cloud SQL from the Cloud Shell.
Thank you all for your support, and it's encouraged me to do more videos to share my knowledge. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.